Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Keto Mom page. My name is Stephanie, and we are diving into mindset. Mindset in the mornings, helping you understand the power of your words, your mindset, your thinking, the dialogue that's going around in your head. So tell me where you're tuning in from. I'm going through a book called Awareness Revolution. The book is by me and my husband. And we're going to talk about talking to ourselves and not listening to the lies. So please hold. Don't tune out. If you're looking for recipes, if you're looking on how to get started, if you need help with food, I'll help you with all of that. You can go to Keto Mom Secrets, all one word, ketomomsecrets.com. Click on how to get started. Click on recipes. You can send me a message. I'm about to shake up my ketones. You can grab some trial packs. There's so many different things that you can do. You can send me a message. You can ask questions below. Listen, you are not meant to do life by yourself. You are not meant to have all of the answers. You are not meant to hit rock bottom before you figured it out. Because guess what? There have people that have gone before you. There are a lot of wise people out there. There are people that know how to do what you want to do. There are people that have achieved what you're wanting to achieve. And how do you learn? You follow those people. You ask questions. You seek advice. You get mentors. And you learn from the people that have gone before you. So, awareness. I think oftentimes people think they have to hit rock bottom before let me rephrase that. People that are about to hit rock bottom don't have the awareness that they're going to hit rock bottom, but everybody else that's watching them, they're saying they just have to hit rock bottom. That's a lie. Don't ever say that about your spouse or your kids or your sister or your friend. Like, you shouldn't have to hit the bottom. There's enough resources and people and mentorship to help you and guide you. So if you need help with fat loss, I will help you. I am not perfect, but we have been sharing for 8 years, and I for sure can give you some pointers. I will talk about how much water you should drink. I will ask you if you're moving your body. I will say, hey, what do your meals look like? I'll ask you if you're reading, because your mindset is important. I'll ask you the different tools that they're using. Like, I drink ketones every day. If you've never tried them, we should chat. Actually, really quick, I'm doing a Zoom tonight. We're calling it 50 and older. And it's for people who are 50 and older, but anybody can listen. And it's all about ketones. It's about, how you can utilize them, how they work. If you want to be on the Zoom, post Zoom in the comments. But I got up early this morning, like extra early. My husband wakes up really early, and I've been saying, I want to wake up earlier. And he's like, all right. And it's like shoving me out of bed. Come on, you've got stuff to do. So I read my Bible. I sat and thought about a lot of things. I had a really, really great conversation yesterday. Actually, I got to listen to two very wise men. I love this. So here's what I'm going to do in the mornings. I'm going to give you something to think about to help you with your mindset. And I'll come on later and give you some keto tips. If you have questions, I know I see, is it Naoma? Just asked a question, and you asked a medical question. I will send you answers as I find them. So I'm not a doctor, but if you've got questions about keto, the keto diet, all of those things, you can ask your questions below, and I'll respond as soon as we're done, and I'll send you a message if I have the answer. Yes, Ruth, I love that. Ruth's like, I'll be on the Zoom. If you are 50 and older, and again, it can be anybody, but the two ladies that are going to share, or a couple people, are 50 and older, and they have some really great insight on why ketones are so great. So if you want to know about those, post Zoom below. Otherwise, I will answer your questions. So I do see some popping in. So y'all are so amazing. So yesterday, I need you to know something. Your mindset matters. The way that you look at life, your perspective, the words that you're speaking, like it all matters. And it actually affects your fat loss. It affects your health. It affects the way that you look at yourself. And awareness is super important, because until you are aware of really what's going on up here, you don't know what to fix, right? So, cheers. You can still be on it, Patsy. Patsy, you can be on the live. I'm going to send it to you, the Zoom. Okay, here's what we're talking about today. I'm curious. Have you ever heard people say, oh, if you're talking to yourself, you might be a little crazy, right? Well, listen, I'm gonna help you think about that in a different way. What if I said it's super important for you to talk to yourself and not so much listen to yourself? And you might be like, what? Talking to myself and listening to myself? So my husband and I are writing a book. It's right here. It's called Awareness Revolution. And the goal is 31 chapters. We're on chapter 18. And we're going to talk in this chapter, we just briefly touch, some are long, some are short. The point is to give you questions to help you on your journey. And we're talking about talking to yourself and not listening to yourself, because how many of you believe a lie that somebody told you, somebody spoke over you, somebody said, and you're rehearsing this lie in your mind over and over and over again. And so really, here's the biggest thing that I wanted to share from the book. I said, we all have ongoing inner conversations with ourselves. Somebody has said something to you at one point in your life, and you either dismissed it or you grabbed a hold of that lie and you've internalized it, and you've got this merry-go-round going on in your mind, and you believe it, even though it's not true, just because somebody said something about you. That's not true. And so we all have ongoing inner conversations. Often they're automatic and you actually don't even realize it because it's on autopilot, right? Words are like seeds, and they get fertilized, they get put into your mind, and then they become and they shape your reality. And so our words become things. And to change your external world, to change the things that you want in your life, guess what you have to do? You need to change the internal dialogue. That's what we talk about. And if you want to, I have people that will say, listen, I just want to lose some weight. And I will say, listen, we need to talk about what you're thinking about. What are you believing? What are the words that you're speaking over yourself? I want you to actually pay attention today to your internal dialogue, not listening to those things that are on automatic of the things that other people spoke to you, but I need you to start speaking to yourself. It's like, I need you to think about what you're thinking about, and then I need you to start speaking to yourself. We talked in this book, and we have a whole different, we talked about it a couple days ago. It's in this book, and we talked about, I got distracted because I was reading somebody's comments. I apologize. We talked about your I am statements, and we talked about like you speaking over yourself, and it might sound weird, but what if you actually put to words like, so I said, listen to your internal narrative I need you to listen to your internal narrative, right? And if you don't, it's going to take over your mindset. And most of the words that people are running in their mind, they're harmful, they're hurtful, they cause you to not do something. And what if we took those old messages like, I can't, I shouldn't, I'm not worthy, and instead you started telling yourself, I can, I will, I must, I am worthy, I am strong. So I really want you to know something. Like we have talked about on this page. And if you're brand new, I'd love to get to know you. Post new below. And I'd love to send you a message. But we've talked about I am statements, what it looks like to write an I am statement, affirmations. They're not weird. It's like you've got to start talking to yourself and getting a new thought process before you believe it. So you've got to take out the lie and replace it with a truth. And you might go, but I don't believe that. Wait, truth? How in the world am I supposed to believe I am worthy? I am strong. I am fit. I am beautiful. I will tell you this. I can only tell you so many things. It's going to have to come deep within. But a lot of this struggle or challenge with weight loss and a lot of this wanting to get healthier, anything that you're wanting to dive after in life comes from a couple different things. Like if you don't believe you can achieve it, you're right. If you don't believe that you can achieve something, it's because somebody said something to you along the way. I 100% believe that a lot of it is spiritual. There are things that I will talk about in this book, and there are things I will share online. But if you're having a spiritual battle, or you don't want to acknowledge that part of your life, which it's there regardless if you want to believe it or not, you'll battle. You'll have a battle in life. So this stuff is real. It's super important. Your mindset is important. Your thoughts are important more than you know. And if you really, truly want life transformation, if you want life-changing transformation, if you don't want to be the person you are today, if you really want change, it's going to start with an internal dialogue of getting out the yuck and the lies and replacing it with truth. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to show you my truth. Everybody has their own meaning. I can't persuade you, right? I'm going to tell you that in the book, we give you a thought or a quote from somebody else. We give you some of our thoughts. We give you some main points. We give you some questions to ask yourself. So if you want the PDF, if you want the questions for this chapter, just post PDF below. But I'm going to tell you, this is my truth. So a lot of the stuff that we are writing about comes from what I believe is the truth. It's the Word of God. So this is a huge factor of why I 100% believe your mindset is important. It's all throughout the Bible. Your words are important. It says your words have the power of life and death. So today I would challenge you to go, what am I speaking over myself? What are the words that other people have said? I need to have discernment enough to know those are lies. I need to replace them with truth. And the only way I'm going to have true transformation in life is to know what the truth is. And then I'm going to have to fight back and forth to implement that into my life until I deep down know it. If you want to lose weight, if you want to be healthy, if you want to feel better, if you want to have a better marriage, if you want to have a better, whatever the case may be, it starts with you realizing the truth between a lie and then implementing that. So I'll give you an example. So underneath, I'm sorry, not an example. We have questions like, what lies have you unconsciously allowed to dictate your actions and beliefs? Here's what this book is about, and here's the biggest change that you need to make. You need to have awareness. And that starts with taking a step back in any area of your life and going, all right, why do I believe this? It's like questioning things that you do throughout your day. Why am I doing this? You guys, awareness, all it is it's like it's not responding. Awareness is not reacting in the moment and just letting life happen to you. Awareness is you actually going, oh, you know what? I'm actually going to pay attention to what's happening, why I'm doing the things that I'm doing, asking yourself questions of how did this happen? Why am I doing that? Why am I believing that? Why am I eating that? Why are these actions coming out of me? And it's asking why. It's asking yourself, how did I get here? And what do I need to do to change to get to where I want to go? Who do I need to ask to mentor me? Who has what I want? Who has done what I want to do? And I need to go ask them to guide me, to hold me accountable. That's what it is. In any area of your life, whether it's finances, marriage, parenting, health. So post PDF below, yes, and I'll give you those questions. Otherwise, I have such a burning desire to help people understand that their mindset is important, that your words that you speak over yourself are important, the things that you're believing about yourself could be a lie, and you need to start speaking over yourself. So if you have not watched, I did a live, I shared it yesterday, I'll share it here. If you have not watched the live that I did a while ago about your I am statements and what it looks like and how to write them, just post I am below and we'll send you that live and you can watch it. Because I go over all the things you need to do to write an I am statement and what that looks like. Otherwise, you can continue to tune in here. You can send me a message. You can reach out. You can ask below. I'm going to tell you, so yesterday, before I wrap this up, so we have the fair in town. We love going to the fair, mainly because I love to see people. I love to run into people. And I got to listen to two very wise people yesterday. I ran into a man he's the father of a boy that I went to school with. A boy, he's a man now. But my friend Tony, and we were friends since kindergarten. And I told my husband, I said, oh my goodness, he was my friend when I was in kindergarten, and I got to be April O'Neil, and he was a turtle, and all of the kids played Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the playground, and he would save me. He was my friend. Well, I ran into his dad at the fair, and I mean, this man, do you ever just meet wise people, and we sat there as people were passing by, in a huge warehouse where, you've got all the vendor booths at the fair, and we sat and talked to him for an hour. And I could have sat and talked to him for so many more hours. And I just listened to him, and I'm like, he is so wise. Oh my goodness. He is so wise. And you want to know what he talked to my kids about? So our kids found us, and we were all chatting. And he told our kids, listen, your words are powerful. He's like, if you're going to gossip, if you're going to say something rude about somebody, don't do it. He's like, I need you to learn to be silent. I need you to learn to listen. He's like, and he didn't even know this. Like, this is something that we're passionate about, but he's just sharing incredible insight and wisdom with us about so many things. But one of the things he said to our girls was, watch your words. As soon as it comes out of your mouth, you can't take it back. You can ask for forgiveness. And then he said, how often do you forgive yourself? And he's talking to our kids, and he's like, you need to forgive yourself and others every day. He's like, the Lord forgives you if you ask for it. But he's like, I need you to know that you need to forgive yourself. And somebody on here needs to forgive themselves for the things that you believe about yourself, for not using your gifts and talents like you know that you should be doing. You need to forgive yourself today. You need to forgive others from the past, not live in the past and move forward. If you have wise people in your life, get around them as often as possible. So this man lives in Florida. Well, he lives all over the place. He travels a lot, works in New York. And he only is 2 hours from us. I was like, oh my goodness, I can't wait to come and visit you some more. I was so blessed by his conversation. And then I got to be on a Zoom that I didn't know about, that my husband handed me the phone. And I was on a Zoom with 50 people last night, listening to Erwin McManus. He is one of my most favorite pastors. He is, if I got to meet one person, if somebody said today to me, Stephanie, you get to go meet one person in the entire world, one person. Who do you want to go meet right now? The plane is booked. You get to go sit with this person for an hour. Who would you go meet? Who would you go meet? I would go meet Pastor Erwin McManus. He is a pastor in LA. He has a church called Mosaic. He's got a podcast that he does with his son called Mind Shift. And I would say he's probably one of the wisest people. I relate to him, the way he speaks, the way he talks, how he thinks about life. And I was like, I would go meet Erwin McManus. Well, I got to be on a Zoom with him last night, and my husband's like, are you going to ask him a question? And I was like, I don't know what to ask him. I normally have questions, and it was incredible just to listen to him and his son, and it was great. So, I will share his podcast so somebody said, where do you share his podcast? Just go to the podcast app, go to Spotify and type in Erwin McManus or type in Mind Shift. There's a lot I could say about the podcast. Erwin speaks with such a high intensity of incredible wisdom that I have to listen to them over and over again. So his son is younger and his son asks his dad questions, you can you'll just listen to it. Don't shut it off. If there's a beginning part of, if you're like, what are they talking about? Like, I just want you have to get to when Erwin speaks. You just have to. He would be the one person I would go meet out of everybody in this world. So, super wise. So I was so blessed yesterday to listen to two very wise men. Anyways, relationships are important. The people that you surround yourself with are important. The people that you allow to speak into your life are important. And the last thing I'm going to say is this. As adults, I think that we forget about this, but I was thinking the other day, how many of you have kids? I have 4 daughters. I'm a homeschool mom. And as a parent, hopefully you do this, like you watch who your kids hang out with, right? You watch how your kids' friends treat them. You might say something like, that person's not a good friend, or no, you're not allowed to go to that person's house. I don't like how they treat you. Like, as a parent, we want the best for our children. And I'm going to assume that you believe the same that I do, that if my children are not being, if they're being treated poorly, if they have friends that are rude or disrespectful, if you look at that and you're like, listen, you're not hanging out with that group of friends anymore. Like, how often do we think about that and we help coach our children and then we forget about it as adults? You are just as important as your child. Your relationships and the people that you're around are just as important as you watching the relationships that your children have. And if you think like, that's not a good friend, I want you to be around people that inspire you. I want you to be around nice people, people that are kind. Guess what? You need to understand that I'm reading comments. You need to understand that you as an adult need to remember or think about the things that you coach your kids on. Kindness is a superpower, right? Don't talk about your friends behind your back. The people that you are around are going to shape your life. All of these things, like, you need to put that into your own life. And oftentimes, I used to feel bad telling people, I thought they would take it the wrong way. And I used to say, like, well, it is important to pay attention to your surroundings and your environment and your friends. I would say, like, you don't have to unfriend them. If they're rude or disrespectful, go find a couple new friends. I'm actually going to tell you something. If somebody is rude and disrespectful and they're taking you down the wrong route and they are not helping you grow, and it's not that you have to 100% unfriend people, because people need you, but you do need to get into an environment that's going to help you grow. If you're around people that are negative, they're life-sucking, if they are constantly putting the negative thoughts into your mind, if they're speaking trash over you, you need a new group of friends. Pretend that you're in 4th grade and I'm going to say, hey, you need a new group of friends. You need to be around somebody that is going to inspire you. And where do you find these people? You can have mentors and friends from books and podcasts. Like, Erwin is my mentor. He doesn't really know it, but he is. And there has to be people locally that you can connect with. It could be at a church. It could be, like, if you have young kids, a MOPS group. It could be moms or dads of preschoolers. It could be a walking group. It could be at your gym. It could be, I just need you to pray and ask the Lord to bring you some new friends, to show you who in your local area is striving after better, like you. You are all here because you want better. If you didn't want better in your life, you wouldn't watch me. Because this keto page started out with food. That's great. There's a lot of keto pages. You actually don't have to follow me for recipes. This page, I believe, and is going to get more intentional, and even more intentional once our family makes a move. We're moving to Florida. And we are moving to Florida for lots of different reasons, and I'm not going to go into them right now. But as soon as we get there, we will be very intentional about a new podcast that my husband and I have started. It's not 100% done yet. We will be launching a podcast. It's be called The Happy Couple. We're going to be more intentional about lots of different things. My daughter and I have a podcast called Who Is She Becoming? And it's about, really, it's a teenager and me, and we chat back and forth about questions that teenagers are battling or thoughts that teenagers have. I believe that the way that teens see themselves and their identity right now, if they can take their thoughts captive and learn this stuff as teenagers or preteens, can shift their entire life. Why would you not want your kids? I've talked on this keto page before, and I've said things like, teach your kids how to eat healthy. Don't shy away from hard conversations, because if you don't have hard conversations with your kids now, they have to go through the same battles that you went through and that you're going through. Teach your kids about the power of their words. Teach your kids that friendships are important. Teach your kids that the food that they eat is important. Moving their body is important. That it's okay and you have to do hard things today. Otherwise, you're going to end up doing really hard things when you're an adult. And you can do it. You can do it. But if you can teach your kids all of these things today so they don't have to go through the challenges and the struggles that you're going through, why would you not? So if you've got a teenage daughter, I'd love for her to plug into the podcast called Who Is She Becoming? If you need help in any area of your life, my husband and I are going to be talking about all areas of your life in the Happy Couples podcast. It'll be coming soon. We just have a lot on our plate. We're packing up a home. We're moving. We're working on. We just have a lot. But in the next 30 to 45 days, we'll have a huge shift. And on this page, I'm going to tell you, it's going to be more and more about mindset and more about the way that you think and more about different topics and conversations that I truly believe are important that will shift the way that you take care of your health. This isn't a typical keto page. In fact, I think the least thing I care to talk about is food. I will give you food and recipes. Go to KetoMomSecrets.com. Listen, most people overcomplicate food. Proteins and veggies, proteins in a salad. It's not so much, I know you know what to eat. It's the reason that you're eating. It's the things you allow yourself to eat. It starts up here, right? It starts with your environments and the people you're around. And I'll say this, if you're not committed to the process, you won't hit the goal. I need you to be committed to the process and you'll hit your goal. And the process is getting up in the morning, working on your mindset, moving your body, drinking your water. I drink my ketones, intermittent fasting. It's little steps every single day, and you don't see the result at the end of the day, but you celebrate every little step, because little steps over time turn into big steps. They turn into little steps are the things that you need to do every day to get to where you want to go. And we live in such a fast-paced society of I insta and I want this now, and if I don't have it, I'm going to give up. And until you have the awareness around that, and until you absolutely know without a shadow of a doubt that your mindset is important, the way that you think is important, the way you speak over yourself is important and others, your words are important. And that's the point of this book, is the awareness revolution. You need to have the revolution on the inside of you so you can share it with other people around you. So that was long. Hey, thank you for tuning in. Your presence matters. I would love for you to press the share button. I need to pick a new winner for some ketones. So we will be at the fair all day, but we will take a break. Actually, I'll do a live later this afternoon when the girls are at CrossFit. I'll do a drawing for some mom fuel. If you press the share button, your name goes in. So press the share button. Sharing is caring. I'm going to drink my ketones. It's going to be an absolutely amazing day. You're very welcome. Thanks for saying thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Reach out with questions. Post PDF in the comments if you want the questions from this chapter. Otherwise, KetoMomSecrets.com. If you want trial packs, post trial in the comments. And we are doing a Zoom tonight about ketones. 50 and older. It's just called 50 and older. You don't have to be 50. But you can hop on the Zoom. I'll send you the Zoom link and you can hear about the ketones and hear from some of my friends that are going to share. I'm 40. But thank you for tuning in. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you for the kind words. And I will talk to you all very soon. Bye, everybody.